My first myth today asked if it's true that it's none other than Brian Jones playing saxophone on the Beatles song You Know My Name. For the record, Brian Jones was actually the founder of the Rolling Stones. While Keith and Mick get all the credit, it was actually Brian's band. And in terms of playing with the Beatles, it goes without saying that not many people played on the Beatles albums. The Beatles were very protective of it, and they really didn't need many guest musicians. But this one is actually true. He plays on 2 different tracks in the band's catalog. Jones actually plays oboe on the song Baby You're a Rich Man, and then he plays sax on the song You Know My Name, which was released about a year after he died. Brian Jones actually guests on a number of other great albums, so go out and get yourself learned about one of the more important people in music history who's constantly forgotten. My second myth today asked if it's true that Ozzy Osbourne once tackled a coyote to save his wife's dog. Bats, ants, doves, Ozzy and animals have an amazing history together, and this is one of the great stories. Because in the past 15 years, we added Ozzy versus the coyote to the list. This is totally true. Back in 2003, a coyote got into the Osbournes' yard in Beverly Hills, and Ozzy ran after it after one of their dogs started crying and barking really loud. Ozzy 100% tackled a coyote in his backyard trying to save the dog, and while that dog survived, one of the other dogs was actually killed in that attack. Ironically, the first dog we're talking about was later killed by a coyote in 2009. But yeah, Ozzy Osbourne tackled a coyote. Is there anything the guy won't do? My last myth asked if there's any truth to the fact that a black metal band had a member who cut his own hands off and replaced them with pig hands. It also asked if there's any truth to the fact that he later tried to kill a child with an axe. Now, it goes without saying that black metal is one of the more unique musical genres out there, and when you're dealing with bands from the Nordic regions, stuff like this isn't completely out of the ordinary. It's a world unto itself. So basically, for those who think this is completely outrageous and could never happen, well, it's really not that impossible and all that far off base. But did it actually happen? Not all of it, but yeah, some of this actually happened. The band name is Silencer, and the man in question goes by the name Natram, and it's almost impossible to find anything about him. He really cloaks himself very well, and he kind of goes incognito. The man is shrouded in mystery, but here's one thing we know for sure. About 5 years after the story emerged about him cutting his hands off, he attacked a young girl with an axe and almost killed her. We can safely say that the pig hand story is a myth because it would be really hard to wield an axe without thumbs and, real fingers. Also, it would be medically impossible to live with pig hands. The surgery just couldn't happen right. But hey, that's just science telling us what we can and can't do. What does science know, right? After the incident happened with the axe, he was committed to a mental asylum where he spent about 5 years. And he's obviously a little bit disturbed in the head, and while the pig hand story isn't true, the axe story unfortunately is. So those are my myths for this week. Be sure to check back here every Friday as I delve into some of the coolest and weirdest stories in music history. If you've got a myth you want me to check out, email it to me at thedailyguru@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook right here, and I'll see you guys again next time.